Today, we're digging into the source material you sent over, really trying to get at the heart of Saudi policy.
Yeah, we're moving past the daily headlines to find the core operating system, so to speak.
Exactly. Our mission here is to figure out the fundamental logic. And it's clear from these documents that it's not about traditional ideas like fixed alliances or permanent enemies.
That's right. The sources all point to one central concept, a doctrine of what they call context, in Arabic, pasag.
Context, okay.
And the core idea is pretty stark. It says relationships are never defined by values like friendship or hate.
So what are they defined by?
Pure utility. That's it. Whatever serves immediate, flexible priorities.
But hold on, if everything is just utility, how do you build any kind of stable, long-term partnerships? I mean, what happens when a country demands a real decade-long commitment?
Well, that's the thing. They negotiate on interests, not on destiny. And this framework, it creates a whole new political vocabulary.
What do you mean?
Friendship stops being a bond. It's just a function.
A function and an alliance.
Is a temporary bridge. It gets you from point A to point B, but it's not your permanent home. And maybe most importantly, a rivalry isn't some permanent fate. It's just a tool of pressure.
So when the context changes, the relationship has to change with it.
Instantly. Yesterday's rival becomes, a file open to understanding.
And today's partner could become a burden to relieve.
Exactly. The world is seen as just a series of trade-offs, not fixed loyalties.
Okay, so this mindset, it must lead to some very specific behaviors.
It does. You can really boil it down to three main consequences. The first is that they manage relations like a portfolio, not a story.
Meaning they're not looking for some grand narrative of loyalty?
Not at all. They're managing political assets for risk, spreading influence, keeping escape routes open, and making sure that everything, closeness, tension, distance, can be repriced at any moment.
So they're managing allies like stocks, not family heirlooms.
That's a perfect way to put it, and that leads right to the second point.
Yeah.
Prioritizing flexibility at the cost of trust.
That flexibility is a cold principle then. It's there to make sure they're never boxed in by one image or one alliance.
Right, but the price for that is that trust becomes temporary by design. Other countries learn to link their interests to the policy.
But never their destiny.
Never. And the third thing is the gap that others see, the gap between rhetoric and behavior.
Ah, so they maintain a kind of fixed moral language.
Exactly. We are protectors of stability, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But their actual behavior is driven by these rapidly shifting contexts.
And everyone is watching that gap.
The world learns to anticipate change no matter what the official talk is.
So if you're another government and you're watching this, what's the practical reputation this policy creates? You care less about their intentions and more about just predicting their next move.
The operational reputation is very specific. They're seen as a strong partner, yes, but an ultimately unreliable one.
Or at least non-guaranteed.
Non-guaranteed. And they're a sharp rival, for sure, but a rival that is always, always priceable.
So this is a party that gets used for its weight.
But not trusted for any deep long-term commitment. People approach when they need the influence, but they avoid getting too entangled.
Okay, let's do the final accounting on this strategy. What's gained and what's lost?
Well, the gains are pretty clear. You get quick deals, pragmatic partners, and maximum maneuverability. You can change your position completely without ever needing to apologize.
But the list of what's lost seems severe.
It is. You lose out on those foundational, stable allies. You lose the moral credit you might need in a real crisis.
And you give up depth. Right. Depth of an alliance for just a surface-level understanding.
And maybe the most dangerous thing you lose is the margin of error. Parties that don't trust you will punish you very quickly at the first sign of weakness.
So a final thought on this context doctrine.
I think it's that it provides a tremendous strength of movement, of agility.
But it fundamentally weakens the strength of connection.
Exactly. This is a policy that wins you a lot of transactional players, but it very rarely creates true believers.
That is a ruthless kind of efficiency. And it makes you wonder how often you see that same portfolio approach managing relationships as assets to be repriced in other high-stakes games, from global finance to business, something to think about.